Hello, this is Tim Jowers, and tonight I'm going to rebut Julius Cook's arguments that the shareholder is more important than the stakeholder. Julius says that the company should ultimately maximize the shareholder value and ultimately maximize the return on capital. Companies should seek to do this, but the shareholder is but one of the stakeholders. He quotes the Harvard Business Review, who says the management philosophy of a company should be the maximization of shareholder equity as its highest objective. The Harvard Business Review is curious because over time they changed their stance. In 2010, they have an article quoted as "A New Idolatry," is quoted in The Economist, wherein they have Roger Martin, who was then the Dean of the University of Toronto's Rotman School of Management, state that firms should instead aim to maximize customer satisfaction. In 2011, Harvard Business Review has an article entitled "Implementing a Stakeholder Strategy" by Jack Springman, which again argues that the customer is the most important stakeholder for the products and services planning for a company and the future growth. So within a few years they've moved over to focus on the customer as being one of the more important stakeholders. Later in 2011 they have an article entitled "CEOs Must Engage All Stakeholders" by Venkat Ramaswamy and Karakam Oskin. This article argues that companies must consider their suppliers and competitors. By 2016, they've done a full about face. Harvard Business Review has an article entitled "Reclaiming the Idea of Shareholder Value," Malbusen and Rappaport. Interesting because this article says that the governance boards are the most important, and a governance board has to be formed to consider all the stakeholders because stakeholders are so complex. So by 2016, they are endorsing the stakeholder model. One thing we argued for in the earlier video was the short-term horizon of the shareholder model. And while that can be argued against and say shareholders may have a long horizon, such as the Harvard Business Review quotes Bezos as saying in 1997 that he's going to focus on long-term profits, one has to wonder when those profits will come for many companies. There's other companies that have a mission that doesn't really serve a shareholder, doesn't serve a return on capital. The mission might be to colonize space. Or there's people who started a company to serve a moral need, and not necessarily to focus on profits, but to focus on solving a problem. That shareholder is an important stakeholder, but in today's era, there's other stakeholders that could be more important to the survival of the company and are certainly more important to the future of a company. I'll leave you with a final quote from Sugu Mike, the head of MUFG Global Banking.